Basically, people could make false allegations in a way to control where they're housed, who houses with them. So basically, it could be an effort to say that I'm not safe here. I need to be somewhere else.
Karmelo Anthony being actually harassed, allegedly, and that's what he wants to lean towards, that people's using it as a way to get moved. Now, who the hell want to do that to themselves? Who that? Who want to play with their manhood just to get moved to another part of the facility? That's nasty work, man. What's good, everybody? I'm Uda. Welcome back to On Go. Now, listen, Karmelo Anthony allegedly harassed at Wallace Pack Unit prison in Texas. Now, Karmelo Anthony allegedly, y'all, but we got to take this serious, has filed a formal complaint alleging ongoing sexual harassment in prison, claiming that fellow inmates have repeatedly subjected him to inappropriate physical content. Now, listen, this is not a joke. This is nothing for us to be playing with. These are things that really happen in prison. Statistically, 1 out of 25 inmates are reportedly being abused in prison. And you know that reports do not happen because you know there's always the no snitching rule. I am going to go into an inmate that's going to be talking in the courts, and you're going to hear from the courts as well as his lawyer talking about the abuse that he sustained while he was doing a 15-year prison sentence. Every single day he was abused. So we're going to get into some video clips. We're going to get into a breakdown. You could even go into one video. I'm going to actually bring up a clip that shows you about how Karmelo's living in there and what's his eating like, what his meals schedule, and all types of little different things like that. But I do want to get into that inmate speaking about their story and being abused every single day in a Texas prison, okay? In a Texas prison. Listen to what I'm saying there, all right? Salute to everybody. Make sure y'all slapping that like button. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bells to make sure that you're notified when we on go.
I'm following up on the Karmelo Anthony case, and I'm reading that he has made complaints of sexual harassment, and this is soon after his transfer. And so with that said, sexual harassment obviously does happen in prisons, and it's taken very seriously. It's under Prison Rape Elimination Act. So if we do have those concerns, custody must address those concerns. But with that said, you also have to show the other side that it could easily be misused. Basically, people could make false allegations in a way to control where they're housed, who houses with them. So basically, it could be an effort to say that I'm not safe here. I need to be somewhere else.
All right. I get that. People do that if you're very scared, you're being really beat down, physically abused. You may want to take one of those chances. But who's playing with your manhood? Okay. And that being on your back, on your file, on your jacket, people knowing that you saying that basically you being abused, and that's on your record, and you're willingly going to do this unless somebody's beating you down. That's when somebody may want to do that. That's following you on your record. People get wind of these things. You know, other officers read your jacket. They read your file and be like, yeah, you know, he was getting abused over there. Just because you lying to get moved to another house. Other officers may speak about that to inmates like, word, he a chump. He a sucker. He being abused. Now we just going to violate this person anyway. Maybe some people don't want to actually abuse you. They want to take your belongings. They just want to beat you up. They just want to make you do things for them. This is what it is. Now you calling your family home. They sending them money. All of these things happen in prison. So you just don't want to put a jacket on yourself for no reason, man. So when people allege things like that, you just got to take them as serious, man.
To making those sexual harassment allegations, all efforts have to be to protect the victim. It's very one-sided in regards to whoever makes the allegation tends to have some level of control. That's something that sometimes could be a bit unbalanced if the allegations are being weaponized for control. So with that said, I'm not saying he's not getting sexually harassed. He could be. I mean, he's a newcomer, has got some attention on him. You know, it could be happening, or this could be an effort to control housing, control who's around him. Again, when you make the allegation, all efforts give some control to the victim, and how you have to protect them. So again, it could be legit or it could be strategic.
Did he pick up any other mental health issues while in custody for that 15-year period?
I don't have any records from his TDC or anything like that. So I don't know.
Okay. Was he sexually abused while he was in custody?
Yes.
Did that only happen once, or was it multiple occasions?
It was continuous.
Did from examining him, did you determine whether he got any mental health therapy while he was in custody?
None. When he reported this, he was transferred to another unit. The sexual abuse continued. It was giving oral sex and receiving anal sex. And it was daily, weekly. It was continuous.
Was his appearance as that of a male or female while he was in custody with the state of Texas?
Well, as he entered, to this date, Mr. Dixon has not had any consensual sexual activity. He didn't enter TDC feeling that he was homosexual, but he now, I guess, would consider himself transsexual, and believes that his identity should be as a female because he's had 15 years of continuous sexual activity while incarcerated.
Judge, have you ever, I'm sorry, Dr. Murphy, have you ever heard of the term girly boy?
Yes.
Does that apply to Mr. Dixon?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, he was acting out, he was aggressive, he would get in trouble. I don't see anything or have heard anything that he was a girly boy.
With respect to your conclusions on Mr. Dixon, could you tell the court what you think should happen with him?
I think this is a horrible case, and I don't know. This is a young man who has received no appropriate care throughout his life. He's spent more time in prison than out. I think the history is horrible. He's had drug and alcohol problems. He's had no treatment for that. He's had no treatment for attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And now we have a gender issue here. I just think this is horrible.
Sad situation, man. You hearing it in court, the woman speaking for him, saying that he was being abused daily, weekly, continuously, orally, anally being abused, saying that he has mental health issues, all of these things. He has a gender issue. Now he's done succumb to it. And now he's trans now as well. But he never felt none of those ways when he got there. He spent more time inside the prison than outside the prison. Karmelo Anthony is a young man, 17 years old when this happened, 19 years old when he just got convicted. He got, you say 17 and a half. They say allegedly that before he can have a chance to really get out the prison. But at the end of the day, just because you have a certain amount of time, that don't mean you're going to get out at that time. You can still be in there catching tickets, write-ups, all types of things, violent acts in there. All right. That young man had a drug habit being in prison as well. You pick up drug habits, trying to use drugs just to, evade the time in your mind and kind of make time just go on by. You get into these different places in your mind. You know what I mean? So think about that. It's not a far-fetched thing for people to say that he's allegedly being actually harassed in prison. You're being housed around a lot of lifers, a lot of inmates like that, even though I did a video that you could go check in my video section of a retired lieutenant in the TDCJ. And he was speaking about, it's a lot of older inmates, and in that facility right there, maybe it's a better place for him to get his feet wet, and not like he's just thrown where it's a lot of gang activity and all of those things. It's a lot of older inmates who are just trying to get their head down, do their time. It's for inmates that got, big sentences, 30, 40, 50 years. Maybe for some people that served a big chunk out of their time, maybe 20, 30 years out of that was already served. But what comes with that is a lot of men never been around women in a long time. They haven't been around. Besides guards, some get visits, A lot of people don't even get visits. I showed you a video based on what Karmelo Anthony is going through. Check my video section, and it shows how they're shipped all around the state of Texas. And Texas is a big state. You know what I mean? You might get shipped to a program after a while, and now you're away from your family. You're away from where people are going to travel all the way far to come and see you. Some people got elderly parents, elderly family members as opposed to visit them. Some people got young children that still got to be taken care of out there in the world. You know what I mean? So it's so many things that go along with this situation. But heart goes out for Karmelo, most definitely keeping him in my prayers. You know what I'm saying? I feel he made a tragic mistake. I don't believe that he planned to do that to Austin. You know what I mean? It's RIP to Austin Metcalf too, man. He's a young kid. Carmelo's a young kid. They both around the age of my son. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he wanted to do that. I don't believe that Austin really knew that him confronting and putting his hands on Karmelo would have led to his life being taken. If he did, he would have probably stopped it. He would have probably went and got someone else, an adult, a staff member. If Karmelo understood that he got 35 years, he'd have probably just got up and walked up out that tent, regardless of getting a staff member to tell him on them. Now he'd have probably just walked away. And I know that's something that he thinks about in his mind every single day since he's been convicted. And maybe ever since this situation happened, like, damn, man, I could have just walked out that tent and just bounced, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it wasn't even that serious, man. It really wasn't that serious, but we don't know what he feels. We don't know what it feels when you're being pressured, when somebody's pushing you to the limits. All right. What's your limit? You know, what do you feel like it's fight or flight for you? When do you feel that way? That's the whole question, you know. But one thing that we'll never know is his own words, because he never got a chance to testify. And I know that's something else that he thinks about every day, is that, damn, what if I testify? Would that have helped me in any way? Would I have still gotten 35 years? They already threw the book at me with 35 years. So maybe me testifying could have helped me in some shape, form, or fashion. Maybe he could have got a chance to express the remorse that even his mother went up and spoke for him. Right before his sentencing, they called her as a witness, and she spoke to him being her oldest son and how remorseful he was. We did see him being sort of remorseful in the videos, right? Besides him saying that he was defending himself, we seen him asking, was Austin going to be okay? We seen him having his reactions when he was looking on and when he was talked to by the coach on the 15-minute video. We see all these things, you know what I mean? So I can see that, you know, I don't think that he meant to do this, you know what I mean? I just don't think that he was meant to do this, man. So some people do feel it. Some people calling him a King Vaughn. They calling him a murderer and all these things. I get it. When you're convicted of it, then you are what you are. But I just don't see him really intending to do that. And I don't think that his intention was to go inside that tent and do this. You know what I mean? Why he had the knife, we'll never know, because he didn't get a chance to testify to his mindset and his mind state of how he felt. And why did he even have the knife at all? But again, so many inmates are getting abused, man. They got inmate on inmate abuse, staff on inmate abuse, and so many other abuses that's happening in many prisons in America and all around the world. All right, so this is a real serious thing. But we also know that people usually don't speak about it. People don't want to be labeled a snitch. You don't want that jacket on you. So people just deal with abuse, just like the video that I showed you of that young man who was 15 years old when he got 15 years, and he was abused every single day and week. He was abused. You heard the woman speak it and say it. So nothing is too far-fetched. So all I can say is heart goes out to Karmelo Anthony, and prayers be with him. You know, hopefully some people in there are helping him, helping protect him, and keep him safe, man. That's all I can say, man. It's a sad situation though, man. So listen, get in the comments and let me know what y'all thinking about this whole situation. I want y'all to hype this video. That's how you get these videos in the algorithm, the new algorithm. YouTube boys switching up on us. Hype the video. Hype this video so it makes sure it gets out in the algorithm. Like this video. Share this video on any of your platforms. Share this with someone that's been following the case. Share this with someone that would be interested in this video and interested in this case. And remember, make sure you're dropping the likes. Make sure you are subscribing to Uda On Go, and make sure you are hitting the notification bells to make sure that you're notified when we drop new content. Uda, Uda, Uda. Always on go.
All my niggas from the Uda, all my niggas turn shooters. Uda, Uda, all my ops turn rats. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't all my niggas turn shooters. Uda, Uda, all my ops turn rats. All my niggas from the Uda, all my niggas turn shooters.